everyone, here's my video for this epic makers challenge. I had so much fun creating this wrap for you. You can follow along or skip to the end just to see the end result, but don't forget to check out all the other awesome makers in this challenge. You won't want to miss it. Have fun out there. Cheers, y'all. I'm gonna be wrapping this absolutely stunning Labradorite. With this stone, we will be making a 3-in-1. It can either be a pendant, a bracelet, or a keychain. So this will be a fun one. And the tools I use, well, here's the wire, 28 gauge. You will need about 36 inches of the 28 gauge. I'm using mine in titanium. I love titanium. And then I'm also will be using 26 gauge. Only need like really more like a scrap piece of this, probably 4 to 6 inches. You might not even use all of that, but we'll need 26 gauge. And then I'll be using 18 gauge. And I'll probably be needing 5 inches twice, so 10 inches twice, so 10 inches total. And then I will be using 21 gauge half round, and I will need you'll need about 12 inches of that. And the tools that I will be using are my Xuron, can you see that? Xuron brand flat shear clippers. And I use my rounded nose pliers. And then my needle nose pliers from Xuron. And then my six sized bail maker from Beadsmith, my nylon jaw pliers from, let's see, Bead Along, and then a regular set of pliers here. We'll go ahead and straighten these out. So I just cut 10 inches. Then cut it down to 5 inches each. So now I have 2 5-inch wires that I'm going to really straighten. I want this really straight. And if you have this problem like me, when you try to straighten with these, my fingers just slide. So I'm going to put on my gloves because it helps to grip that. Way nicer. You want this very straight as you can get, because you need it straight for this wrap we're doing. Do the other one. So I got my 2 wires. I'm going to take just one of them, and let's see, I'm going to use this size here. I want to put it pretty center as I can, and then just go ahead and bend these down. Bend those down. Gonna wrap it a little bit around till I get it about there. Okay. I'm gonna take these. I want to straighten this out here, so I'm gonna take these. It's tricky. the other side. So you get a bend. Sometimes it's not perfect, so I'll just bend those two together. Because we want a circle like that, but we want these straight. Flatten it out, straighten it out like that. So we got a pretty, should end up looking like that here. Okay. Now we're going to go to this one here. Grab this one. And let's see, move that. We'll grab the same bell maker on the same setting here. Try to make it in the middle. Bend it down. Now with this, we're not going to do exactly the same thing. We're gonna, bend it in a little. I'll go ahead, but this time we're gonna want it more. We want this to go on the outside, so we're gonna, you'll see what I mean. So we're gonna bend this one, not in the center, because we want these two to go on the outside, these two sides. So we are going to bend it a little further out. Probably more like right there. You can always straighten these. They get wonky. Because this, we're going to want to go on the outside. Like that. Oh. So let's see, make sure that that's going to fit. Now that's not going to, I'm going to need to make it a little wider because I will be wrapping this side. So it's okay. We're just going to bend it more out. Bend it back maybe. Flatten her back out. And bend it maybe a little more out that way. There we go. Now that should work here. We need to just leave enough space in between right here so I can wrap this and it sits flush. But we'll mess with this one here in a second. Let's just focus on getting this one wrapped now. Now I'll take my 21 gauge half round and cut about 12 inches. And I'm going to start wrapping. And I like to start here. wrap. It is harder to do with these gloves on, so I'm going to take off my gloves. Much better. Try to keep it as tight as possible. You could always push it down if you start sliding, but you want to make sure it's as tight as possible and squish it together with your fingernails, or you can use your pliers. Oh, now that I didn't want. See how I bumped that? If that happens, it's okay, but you need to keep this wire as straight as can be. So I'm going to have to fix that. Okay. And every now and then you're going to want to you're going to push this down, but you're going to want to take these and just give it a little squish. Okay. And just keep wrapping. Quite a few times. Squish. Keeping these straight. Every now and then turn it that way and give her a squish too, just to make sure it's all staying nice and tight. You can even use these to push it down. If you don't want to use your nails, if you don't have nails, those work great as well. Every now and then, once you get to this point, I'm going to take my stone and see where I'm at. Let's see, I'm going to want to wrap to there, so I've got a little bit left to go. Okay. So we can now clip off this end here. I didn't want that to happen, but it happened. Oops. Flatten that down. Can even push them down with that. Same with this side. There we go. And I'll probably use these ones here. So just tuck that in best you can. Right there. Good enough. There we go. Now I'm just going to flatten it all out, straighten it, make sure it's nice and straight. There we go. So we have a nice wrapped piece here. Now that we're done with this, we're going to just set it aside for right now. And we're going to take this piece that we did earlier And here's where we're going to need our the 26 gauge. And just snip off a little bit of that. If you have scrap pieces around, use that. And we're going to start. I just like to hold it kind of like this in my hand, grab the end here, and I just start wrapping 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and squish her down. There we go. So got it wrapped 3 times around there. Right. Gonna kind of scoot that down and see how I bent my wires. I'm going to straighten those out. So if you bend your wires here, you need to make sure you straighten them out again. Love this tool right here. Okay. Okay, now you're going to take this piece and you're going to want the end of the wrap to be at the end here. And you're going to squeeze those together to about there. Push this up along here. Try to make sure you're keeping this in place where you want it. It's just to be at the end. And then this, you're going to take, try to keep it as together as you can. Actually, I should have this on the outside. There we go. You see, I did that. And what this is to wrap those 2 together. But first, I want to bend my wire right there, the end. So this is tricky. Sorry, this is tricky. And then bend the other side. No, there. Now push that up. Can you even see? Let's zoom this in. Maybe you could see a little better. So I bent it here at the ends. Now I'm going to push this wire up to the right close to the end. And then I'm going to wrap that around. At least twice. Then I'm going to follow up by wrapping around this one. Pushing down as you need. Three times. Now we're going to want to clip this off. Just give her a snug there. As close as I can. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same with this here. See, I still have a little left for the other side. straighten it as much as you prefer. I'm going to take these and flatten it out as best I can. There we go. Now I can kind of straighten those how I want it. There we go. So we're going to have this left here. And I'm going to clip, let's see, to about there. Same with the other side. Same. Hope I clipped that one. It looks like a little shorter. I want to keep them pretty close to the same, so there we go. Pretty close. Now let's take my round nose pliers. I'm just going to grab the end here and start curl that under. See how I'm curling that under till it does it's like it to about there. And then same with the other side. So we got that. Now on this side, we are going to cut the ends about that. I'm going to go ahead and just cut them both. Hold the ends so you don't, those don't go flying. And what I'm going to do here is take my pliers here and bend straight up. I really don't like how that's wonky right there, but it's all right. So now we need to secure this end, and we will secure that with taking the rest of the 26 gauge. We are going to connect it to the loop here. So we're going to need to wrap around. Leave in just a little bit at the end here. I'm going to wrap around this 3 times. There's 1. 2, pulling it tight. 3. Squish. So we got 3 wraps around. Push it down here. And now I can wrap around here. Oh, goodness sakes. Wrap that once, twice. Keeping it pretty tight. And then we're going to wrap around this side 3 times. Oh my goodness. Pull that through. Wrap 3 times here. This 1, this will be 2. And another time. Pull that tight. Squish her down. Pull her tight. And now you can cut that excess off there. Tuck it in. Okay, and flatten, make sure it's all flattened again. Flatten it out. Squish, make sure it's all nice and tight. And we're left with this. Now what I'm going to do with these, straighten those. Now we have this. Now let's take our stone and just, I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. Let's take our stone and just check here. Yay, that's just about right. That's perfect. So, we're going to bend these out. This is a little tricky, so I'm going to, okay, so carefully. There we go. Giving it, just open up a little bit there so I can get my pliers, my round nose pliers. And we're going to go and start curling downward this way. I'm going to do the same with the other side. Take, where's my pliers? There we go. I want to keep it as flat as can be, so flatten those back out. And I think I want it a little more tighter than that, so let's go in. That's about right. So there we go. So now we have this side. Now that we are done with that, we will want to take the 28 gauge and measure about 36 inches roughly, no less, but anyway, I have 36 inches here, and I want to find my center, so I'm going to bring these two ends together and pull to find my center right here. We're going to wrap it around this end first. So we're going to take this and just kind of slide it in between here. Okay. Maybe as best as you can. I'm going to cross them. Okay. Now I'm going to take my stone. I'm going to set it against these wires down here. And we are going to, this is going to, let me see, if maybe I'll zoom in just a little here. And we're going to take this one, try to keep your stone in place, because you want to wrap these very tight. And I'm using this finger to keep a hold of the wire here so it don't slide around. And I'm going to tightly wrap around. Oh my goodness, sorry, it's out of camera. Wrap around here and come around and up here. And then I'm going to do the same. Oh, try to keep this as tight. This is tricky. I'm going to come and center. Come. Oh, see, I'm already moving it. This is going to be tricky. You might have to readjust a bit while you're doing this. And I'm going to come up. Nope, I don't want to go there. I want to go up and around. This part. There we go. Keeping her tight, and you're going to bring it around this other one and back up. Now before I go any further with this one, I'm going to do the same thing to this side. So I'm going to keep my fingers. I'm going to bring this one around. See, around the back. And then around and up through this part right here. Now I'm going to bring it back up. And I'm going to go down around this part, around the back to the other, around the other side, and pull up. So you should have, and you can straighten these out as you go, but you want to keep these as tight as possible. You can also take, if you're not able to get, you could take your, that's what I like these ones for, my little needle nose. And you can straighten all these out if you want. It's all good. Those are still not as tight as I want them to be. So I'm going to readjust this. Okay, now should look kind of like that. We're going to come back down this way. Around. You know what? Use these to straighten your wires. It looks like nice and pretty. There we go. I'm going to go back down around the bottom here. Every time you do something on one side, you want to do it to the other side. Just kind of helps keep everything straight and uniform. So I'm going to come and bring these. Let's get that out of my way. Bring this one down and around the back and up. So now we got both of these. Oh, it's looking like this. Now I'm going to take this and wrap it down. Come on, down, and let me get this out of the way. There we go. So wrap this down and around just to kind of give her, and so this one down and around as well. And I'm going to bring this one up this side. And wrap it around the top. You could pull on your wire to straighten it with your fingers or use your tool. I'm going to pull that right around to there. There we go. Bring it up just to kind of get that out of the way. And do the same with the other side. I'm going to bring it up this side, up to here, oh, up to here, wrap it around the whole back side and back up around. So now it's kind of looking like that. It's looking cool. And you can keep doing this however, which way you want. You can wrap this different ways. The idea is just to secure it to the stone. Anyways, it's pretty fun wrap. So let's see. This is already, believe it or not, pretty secure, but I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to come back with this one here. I'm going to come back, I think, down, keeping it on top of that one, come back down around, and I'm going to wrap that around there. And now I'm going to do the same thing, like said before with the other side, so that's going to come down here and wrap it around the bottom like so. Keeping it tight, keeping it tight. Now we got this. I'm going to come, I'm going to wrap around one more time with this one. And so I need to go one more time back around down with this one. And it's looking pretty nice, isn't it? I love that. Oh, okay. So let's see what else. Let's see. I'm going to bring this one. Let's go one last time here. It's all I'm going to do, or it will, I think, just start looking like a mess here. So I'm going to bring that up around, and I'm going to bring this one, which was, sorry about that, down here. Bring it around up to here. Here we go. Now, there should be both up here. Looking pretty good. I'm going to turn it over. And now we need to secure. Now we need to secure these. So we are going to do that by wrapping 3 times around this big loop here. I'm going to go, let's see, let's get this one out the way so you could see. Let's go around right here and wrap it around this loop 3 times. Make sure it's tight. So there's 1. 2. And 3. Squish her down. So now that we got that, I'm going to actually bring it through one more time, because I'm going to cut this right there. Let's grab your clippers here. And we don't want that to scratch your skin if you're wearing this as a bracelet. So I'm going to cut, use this side, cut that off, tuck her in. Squish her down if need. There we go. And then same with this side. And wrap 3 times. And squish her down. Squish her down. Give her a clip. Oh, I clipped way too much. I left way too much there. So just clip it, tuck it in. And if you need to straighten anything out, go ahead and do that. I actually like to straighten out with these. And I need to tuck that back in again. There we go. Okay. So now that we are done with the wrap, it's time for you to decide. Do you want this to be a keychain, or a pendant, or a bracelet? Because this can be either or, any of the above. Depending on how you like it, I think if you have it as a pendant, you'll need to have some jump rings in order to make it into a pendant. So I just made my own little jump rings. You'll add those. I'll grab my pliers here and just squeeze those together. I like doing two. I think it looks cute. So I've got two jump rings. And you got yourself a beautiful pendant. So you can wear it as a necklace like that, or you can keep the jump rings on, or you don't even have to use the jump rings. I buy these because I like to make make these into keychains as well. Could be a beautiful, beautiful stone for a keychain. And then you can either, like I said, keep the jump rings on, or you can even just take the jump rings off and have it, just ignore that they're there. Yeah, have it like that. Or you can turn this into a beautiful bracelet. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just one moment. For the bracelet, I'm going to use some leather cord from cordscraft.com. Not affiliated with them, just that's what I got. And I measured 18 inches about. I don't even know if we'll need to use all of it, really. But you're going to want to weave it through the back side that way. And then you're going to want to, bring this end around and go through this way. So we got two ends here. And then we're going to just tie a knot around this one. So take this one, bring it around. Goodness sakes, this is being funny. I like to bring it around twice. Tie a knot. There we go. Pull it tight. That's one side. And this will be adjustable. Keep that on there. Now on this side, you're going to want to try to keep that straight. So then you're going to tie a knot around this side. There we go. Two knots. Keep that there. And voila. You tighten this by pulling on this side, then pulling on that side. It tightens it. I'm actually going to clip this extra off here. And all right. And you have a beautiful bracelet that you can wear. Now it likes to stick up like that, so you can just bend this end just down a hair if you want. Just down a hair, and it lets that sit a little bit nicer. And you got yourself a bracelet. Beautiful, bracelet. And that is it. So we got a beautiful, beautiful Labradorite stone wrapped, and you can wear it as a bracelet, as a keychain, or use some little guys there and make a pendant out of it. Either way, you got a beautiful stone. And beautiful wrap. And that concludes this video for the Makers Challenge. Thank you, Theo, for inviting me and calling me out. I had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed this wrap.